sign in.
Yeah. Mhm. I kind of remember the names. At least at the moment. What's the problem? Okay, so let's call the meeting to order, and I know, that you would like to read.
I do love you all.
Enjoy our company.
It was a little bit of a late night last night, so.
Yeah.
I appreciate your flexibility. So really not much to report on my end in terms of new news. Our numbers for the social work department are pretty steady. As well as the volunteer department. We had 2 new volunteers on board in the last month. And we did have training meetings for the kitchen and the front desk staff, which was exciting. But again, numbers for the social work department are just about the same. We are starting a wait list again for a counseling program. We filled up again. So that seems to come up and down, but it's manageable. It's not a huge wait list. We just started it, so we're really grateful to have the big social work team that we have, and we hope to keep them all. But other than that, we're doing great. We have some grants coming up that we're applying for in terms of social programming. We have the tablet grant that we're rolling out, and we're continuing to spearhead the Homelessness Prevention Coalition here out of our social work department. All is well.
Great.
Which was that last, Jessica, in the Homelessness Coalition?
The Homelessness Prevention Coalition, yeah. Yeah, so we meet monthly just to share resources surrounding issues. We've had more incidences of homelessness in town. So we share resources. We also manage a crisis fund through the town. So if someone, God forbid, needs an emergency need, whether it be food or clothing or shelter, we have a small fund that we're looking to grow, but that we can pull upon if there's no other resource to help them.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
Okay, thanks, Jess.
thank you.
There's no other questions.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't, is Michelle or somebody from Shine there?
Yes, hi, it's Amy. How are you?
Good.
Hi. So, we attended several trainings this month. For the month of January. One of them was what's new for Medicare in 2024, just to start the year off. We also attended the Postal Service Retiree Medicare Decisions training. A lot of changes coming up for postal service workers, as well as an immigration refresher webinar. We also began our one-on-one counselor meetings where we met individually with each of our 70 counselors. So this is a great opportunity for us to just touch base and get feedback for the program from each of our counselors. So we started that, and that'll continue until the end of February. We had our monthly counselor meetings on January 4th and on the 9th, and we provided a training on the Medicare savings programs because there's a lot of changes coming up for that program and a lot more clients might be eligible. So that'll be great news. And then we also sent an article to all the COAs on the importance of choosing a preferred or in-network pharmacy to help clients save money on prescription drugs. We also hired 2 new administrative assistants who will assist us with some clerical work in the office and also some outreach in the Metro West area, because we are really trying to prioritize outreach and getting out there and letting people know that Shine exists and what we can do to help them in the community. We also met with the state Shine team on January 10th and the 31st to discuss upcoming trainings and changes to recertifications. So this will affect all of our counselors who will be recertifying as Shine counselors again. And then we took a trip out to the Weston COA to meet the new staff and discuss our new counselor that we placed there. They also have a new director there that we were able to meet, so that was nice. And then we also met with the state Shine team and Latanya and Jessica Moss as well to discuss the upcoming Shine Grant and earmark funding for the next fiscal year. And that's it. Any questions?
Doesn't look like it. So thank you, Amy,
Thank
very
you.
much.
All right, you're welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. Aisha, you still with us?
I am.
Okay, you're on.
All right. So first I try to start with a positive, and I just I think sometimes we take the Shine program for granted just because it's there, but I have to say we are so fortunate to have it in our building. They work so diligently. The volunteers are so committed, and it brings faces into the center that otherwise may not come. And I have to say, in recent months, many have stayed and become members. So I just think we're very, very fortunate that that we have them in our facility as their home base.
Yeah, I agree, totally.
Thank you so much, Aisha. We really appreciate that. And you guys are always so supportive of us as well. So we
Well,
appreciate you
the
guys.
work you guys do and the work the volunteers do and the staff is just tremendous. And you guys are so committed.
Well, we're a great team. Thank you.
As far as programming and transportation goes, we have both sides have been affected with COVID and weird viruses, so we're bouncing back. It's been about 3 weeks that we haven't had a full staff, maybe 4 at this point. But we're bouncing back. And a testament is that people were like, I really would come to work if I could, but we're telling them not to, of course. But I thought that shows how truly committed our drivers, our programming staff that they are. They were chomping at the bit to get back. The Compass went out to print, so it should be back in probably 4 days, and then it will hit the mail. And I have some wonderful news. I reached out to our salesperson, and we have one of the largest newsletters. Basically, right now, we used to compete with Barnstable, knowing the size of Barnstable compared to Needham. It's very impressive that we're the size that we are. And we only have 2 business card size ads left. Every other ad has been sold, and that is a testament to how popular our newsletter is, and the programming that we do, the social work that we do, the transportation trips that we do, because people wouldn't read the Compass and keep it as their Bible, as a lot of people say, if and people wouldn't buy ads. So we're killing it in that category, which I think deserves a lot of kudos to our entire center team.
Aisha, can I ask you a question on that? Well,
Of course.
So, the number of ads we have, does that affect the number of pages we do, or do you limit the ads so that we're always doing a basic number of pages?
No, so since we've been expanding, since I think 5 years ago is when we joined with LPI, the more programming we put in, the more ad pages there are. It always has to be 4 pages, because it's
Right.
I don't know if anybody knows this about the printing of newsletters, but it's, if you put in one 8.5 by I don't know, like illegal, you're dealing with 2 8.5 by 11s on either side. So
I used to be in the printing business, so I know what you're talking about.
yeah, thank you. And if I'm not explaining it correctly, I'm sorry.
No,
But so we upped it as much as we could without having the postal cost go up more than they have, just because postal costs have gone up. They haven't gone up because of our weight. I think if we added another 4 pages, then that it would affect it. So I think we're good where we are. Jen's doing an amazing job by editing and cutting and making it all fit. But no, so the ad pages have increased, but not in, I want to say 3 years.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We have made a bunch of new partnerships with, and we're reestablishing partnerships with BID. We're doing monthly programming with them, and I hope to do more of that. We're working with their nutrition team right now. And there seems to be an uptick in housing, people that want to do in-home healthcare and assisted living properties coming in. So we're welcoming that. We're letting them know that we don't want our people sold to, but we'll gladly take people from their staff that want to do programming and have them come do nutrition classes, exercise, health and wellness. One group is thinking about doing a smoothie class. So that's good. The one question I did have, transportation. We hired a new van driver and we are interviewing 2 more. We would like someone that's available. One is going to be a regular driver, and then we would like to have someone that's a substitute. Because this last 4 weeks with people being out ill and people taking vacations, we just felt that it was better to have someone that could be standby. We're also working on a survey to send out for 2024 to see, what else people would like for us to do at the center. I will tell you that the last 6 programs that we have had in the last 2 weeks that were decent programs have been standing room only. And I don't think I've ever seen that number since I started.
I know at the Roosevelt one the other day, it was very good, and the room was full.
Yeah. And we had Stephen Cadigan in, that was standing room. What the World Needs Now was tremendous. So, and we're seeing so many new faces, it's wonderful. I started with a positive, so I'm gonna end with could be negative. Do we have any word on getting a metal topper for the dumpster?
No one's talked to me.
No one's talked to me either. I can send another
Do
reminder.
we need to put some pressure?
I just think we're going on like 3 years now, and it keeps popping up where we're putting the peppermint in, but I was there the other day and a rat ran through, and it was a reminder to me because I get lackadaisical. I'm like, oh no news is good news, but I don't want anyone to see, we're getting new people in. I don't want them to see a rat run through the driveway and be like, oh, not that a rat won't run through anyways, but the plastic topper does not help our cause.
Latanya, who have you been talking to?
I think his name is Damaris at the,
Oh, I know him.
yeah, so I'll
He went
send him
to
a
school with Kyle.
Oh, okay, I'll
I'll
send
give
him
him a
a,
call.
yeah.
We all know him. The dumpster has, it's a plastic top and the rats just eat through it. And yes, it's like, you know, picnic in the park. Yeah.
Like you can go out to the dumpster and look at it and you see where they've gnawed through.
No, thank you.
His
That's okay.
his father was once a very active member of, the center. I forget his first name, but, Maris's father was, well, he was still able.
Colleen's on it, and I can do another email too.
I'll get his old girlfriend to talk to him. It wasn't Kyle.
Andy Murray is,
Who is it?
Ed, Ed Murray, and he's still in town, still.
But that's other, yeah, okay. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, but any help? Does anyone have any questions?
I don't think so, thank you so much.
I just have a comment about the programs that have been outstanding. You don't have to go to New York anymore to see some fine theater and music. Thank all your staff who make all of that. Thank you and staff. I just think they're outstanding.
Thank you. We're trying.
It's working.
All right. And as you all know, my door is always open if anyone in between meetings wants to comment, critique, have ideas. Come see me.
Thank you,
Okay.
Aisha.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank
too.
you.
Latanya, is there anything that you wanna add or to discuss?
The only thing that I can add, we're definitely looking at, more grant opportunities, especially to continue the community dinners. So because of funding, we canceled the last two, we canceled the last two, which would have been for January and February. And weather too, so we'll start back up in the spring, but on a regular, depending on what's being served, we kind of budget for 500 each dinner. And because of the numbers going up, it may tip off to be like $800 a meal. So just trying to figure out the right balance for it. I strongly support it, and I think
For
it,
the whole thing.
Not
per person.
it definitely had, great feedback that people are happy not to be eating at home alone.
Right, in fact, I was asked the other night if we were, this morning actually, if we were gonna have them again, so. And on that note, Denise has offered to,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let the board know if you have people that approach you, we will continue them. The goal is we did collect money in the $5 and that'll be going back in, so we do have a little cushion to continue, meals, so, yeah, we'll continue it, and
So Tanya, is the $5 a required or is it a donation?
it's a donation, yeah,
We may be having to require it. I mean,
okay.
At that kind of a cost,
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, at least see about it. I mean, somebody can't do it, they can't do it, but, most of the people I've seen there probably could do it.
Okay. Yeah, and
Any discussion on that? Any questions or concerns about that?
I agree, I think that,
Yeah.
we can, maybe they'd be happy.
Yeah. And if they can't, then just,
Yeah.
nobody needs to know.
Okay. And I just wanted to bring note to the fitness room. has been, collaborating with the senior center on making sure we're doing, celebrating diversity and also educating, people, our participants about, diversity. So they put together a binder, I don't know if you all saw it, for Black History Month of all the, African-American athletes. And it's in the fitness room and it's all around, fitness contributions, and we put it in the library and at the front desk. That initiative will continue throughout the year in some capacity, whether it's, whatever month it is for Gay Pride Month, we'll be doing, making sure not only the center is taking part, but also our fitness room is taking part of it too. So, yeah. And that's all. And if anyone hears of any grants or anything, because we don't always see them, and nor do we always have the time to apply for them. It's such a short turnaround, and Jess has been good about doing it. And I applied for one for the vaccine, and we got 10,000, but it's like, I feel like the more grants we can get, the more we can expand programming and some of the nutrition stuff. So, yeah. So if you hear of any, send it my way. And if anyone has any grant expertise, I don't know, look, you can come see me and we could do it together. Yeah, so that's it on my end.
Can I ask you a question about, after looking at our budget, the front desk hiring, is that something, I mean, Kate has kind of taken it out of her budget. And I would be very, very surprised if FinCom put it back in. Is that going to be detrimental? Is that something that we really?
In my opinion, I strongly say we need a front desk person. Our volunteers are great, but having a staff member allows someone to be present when we have, not when we have issues that a volunteer may not feel that they're in a position to say no, or interviews, a situation like asking a person to sign in. We strongly feel that's necessary, not only for our data, for safety. So having a staff person can say, this is what's required, and, feel comfortable and knowledgeable to give them our rules.
Brief discussion at the Friends meeting about it. You're right, yeah. Interesting, yeah.
I spoke with Jess briefly, and, so that was my question, what does this person do? Apparently, according to her, that she knows of, this is the only town building that doesn't have a person answering the phone. Everybody else.
That's
a
true.
consistent person
Right,
answering the
That's
phone.
true.
Yeah,
And, I'm sure people are calling, with questions, and volunteers are good, but they can, generally what she said is they do 1 or 2 blocks a week. So things change. Daily.
And we're very fortunate that we have the caliber of volunteers from front desk that we have, but things change, as we all know. And if there's not, if the buck doesn't stop at a staff person,
Yeah, she said that
that
person's
would change
been,
the whole culture of the center, because the people at that front desk have a face. Yeah.
and unfortunately, some of the volunteers that sit there take a little or a lot of guff from the people coming in when they're asked for, membership money or,
that's
you know,
what
and-
Jess said,
yeah,
like this
yeah.
person is staff and use the senior, check in, make sure you pay.
Yeah. Which, yeah,
Yeah,
it really should be
Make
said.
those rules pretty, consistent so that the volunteer doesn't have to.
Yeah, it is a lot of volunteer, because they always have to be pleasant and put on a happy face when you really want to get up and hit somebody. Excited.
And then if the volunteers, if they don't know the answer, they're reaching out to other staff.
Right.
Taking them away from some, they're supposed to be there.
Right.
I feel strongly about that, that item.
Yes, you are.
That item being, included in the budget. I know it's a small number, but nevertheless, it's an important. I think it's important.
I wish we would have a full-time receptionist, but that was,
Very-
yeah, I think it helps when people call in, you know, with emergencies, needs, the, person just knows how to filter through those calls and make sure the person is getting to the appropriate staff member.
And I think also because I do volunteer on Monday mornings at the reception desk. But sometimes when volunteers call out sick,
Mhm.
so then usually we're in teams, so there are two of us for the different shifts. But sometimes you end up being solo. I don't have a problem with that, but I think other people would. So if Karen can fill in and actually sit there and answer the phone, I think it would be.
Mhm.
And also, I think the other thing that Jess Moss does, when we have meetings, she tries to get everyone on the same track. So we're all saying the same thing and we're being consistent, because that's important.
Mhm.
Any other comment or questions? Okay,
The only thing I wanted to thank, the members of the board who attended the, meeting and provided information and, the support
I
to,
want to give Sue
everyone.
and Ed a round of applause because they really did a great job in talking about our budget and our needs and everything else. And I would love Sue to give her speech again. It was so good. To the point that when it came, I had emailed and asked to speak, and I thought, there's no point in my doing that. It's taking up time, and you both already said, you know, I would just be reiterating, so I just asked for their support of our budget and, you know, let it go at that, so. You both did a great job, thank you.
Thanks, it was a new experience.
You came on, gun.
That's my need.
Yeah, and the only other thing I wanted to add that I've gotten feedback from participants and they have welcomed seeing, board members at some of the events, so I just wanted to say thank you too. So they're getting to know, some of the boards, so I thank you for coming.
Great, and speaking of that, you know, Aisha had asked if we would do, one day. Both in the one, and it's a choice, you can either do the morning or the evening. To be present, to, just be there and talk about what we do. And what we don't do. I think she gave me a date. And with luck, I wrote it down. April 4th. So it's a Thursday morning. So what she would like is to just have some of the board members. Just give a little, you know, talk to the people that are in the building about, introduce ourselves and talk about what, you know, the board's positions are, what we are here, what we do. Why we're here. And then she wants to do another, so in the morning, like, I think she said maybe around 10, and then again in the evening. At
She said
5, I
fine.
think. So I know some, you know, it's easier to do it in the morning for some and later than others, in the evening, so we can talk more about that. In March and try and set up a schedule. And if you can't do it, it's fine. I mean, as long as some of us are there, so.
Where is it done?
Here,
Oh,
Here.
Here in the building?
here, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. like in the cafe, or
Cafe.
just, you know, where you don't wanna walk into a program and it disrupt anything, but.
So it's coffee with the board.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, we're not gonna have a formal, we're not gonna have a formal speech that everybody has to learn and
Just a chat.
regurgitate, you know, it's just, so. So just, if you can, think about that date, April 4th, and then, let me know if you're available on either the morning or the evening. I can't do the evening, but.
People here.
It depends, it's growing.
Mhm.
There's some programming that goes on,
It depends on what's, the program, like, some Thursdays is full and then some Thursdays it's not, so.
yeah, there was a couple of
Mhm.
tables of people, tonight, the Marjan group was
Mhm.
sometimes 2 or 3 tables down there at 5 o'clock. So, huh? Rummikub,
Mhm.
sorry. I don't play either one. Kind of like bingo. And you know like that's all bingo. We were talking about bingo at the Friends meeting, the other day, and I came and played one day, and I was just, I couldn't wait to leave. Everybody kept saying, oh, you gotta come, it's so much fun, it's so much fun. And it was like probably the worst thing that I've ever done in my life. And I said, so we were talking about, you know, they give scratch tickets if you win a bingo game, you get scratch tickets. So I gave Barbara, who takes care of it, $20, and I said, this is so I don't ever have to play.
Is it straight up bingo or is it?
Oh, they do all kinds, they do all kinds.
I think these.
You know, if you have 4.5 hours, you don't know what to do with, you know, they love it. People really love it. I don't mean to,
Cocktails.
I don't really.
That would be really cute.
Morning bingo with cocktail.
Yeah, my grandmother used to have whiskey and teacups.
I don't really want to knock the program because it's packed. It is really.
It brings in a lot of.
It
people.
does.
I mean.
Exactly. I'm not a huge game person anyway, so.
And we were able, talking about bingo, we purchased some, card for it, for Braille for one of the participants.
Oh,
Yeah, so she's able to play now,
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
good.
Neat. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress, sorry.
Now, Connie, tell us how you feel about bingo.
He was really fun.
And it went
I think we
on
spent
and
an hour and a half,
on.
really. I've never talked about bingo so much in my entire life at that meeting. Beverly's so good, she's taking notes. And she's like,
And rolling there.
right. We're sitting across from each other, trying not to burst out laughing. Anyway, okay, on to more important matters. Sorry about that. I don't know how many of you watched last night's FinCom meeting. I think, yeah. It's really hard to read, you know, what the situation is there. You know, I don't see any of the big things that we want done in the offing by any means. You know, the moving of the fitness center, you know, the money for that wasn't there that I read.
Yeah, what, that was confusing to me, because there was a whole feasibility study and there were all these recommendations. But then nothing got done with it. And one of the other departments is heading down the path of a feasibility study and that'll be done by next year, so they'll come back with capital requests. What happened to the?
Right, I don't know, I mean, I tried, did I send the budget out to everybody? Or not, I think I just asked you to come, but yeah, I mean, I had a copy of it, I could send it so you can see it, but, yeah, I mean, in reality, there was nothing that we really, you know,
$15,000 is what the COA is asking for in two part-time positions. I mean, that's.
yeah. So, anyway, we shall see, but unfortunately, the health department took a bigger
Yeah.
hit, than we're discussion, than what the aging services did, so.
We expected
Oh, you did with the epidemiologist? That was, yeah.
It sounds like a perfect thing, I mean, it sounds like, you know, we're really.
that. Something we know it should,
Right, yeah,
but. It's hard to convince them
yeah,
until the next thing.
right,
Short memories.
yeah. True. Okay, minutes for the last month. May I have a motion to approve the
Are you done?
budget?
Did you want a report?
It's on my list, but I have, yeah, I'm gonna do the minutes first, because I don't know how long the housing thing, and what will happen is I'll forget to do the minutes. So. Yeah, I would have preferred those the other way around, but that's fine.
You want a motion?
A motion to approve the minutes of, January 11th.
I knew that, so, 1 second.
Okay, are there any additions, corrections? No, all those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Next month's minutes will not look.
Does a great job.
Right.
Right. No resolution.
Right. So I like to, I'd like at every one of our meetings to talk a little bit about the housing situation that's going on in Needham and the progress or lack of progress or decision-making kind of thing that's happening. I know that the Board of Selectmen are going to put a warrant article in that says pick the lowest number that the MBTA was allowing, shall I say? But then they're writing a second warrant, which hasn't been completed yet, so I don't know any of the details of that. Which would enhance that number in some way, but because I haven't seen what they've had to say, or how they're gonna do it, and they didn't seem to know either, so, I mean, Heidi, was talking about it, and she didn't seem to have the details, or at least didn't want to share any at that moment until they iron everything out.
I saw that thing on Google that said Milton is contesting having to do that.
Right.
No one's thinking they're gonna succeed in that. I mean,
Well, the thing is, that's all well and good, and they can protest and they can decide not to do it. But the funding that we get from the state, you know, we lose a lot of funding if we don't do
I'm
what.
not saying we should go down that path. I'm
Yeah.
just saying there's angst.
Yeah,
No, there are some communities where that's true, and Milton is probably a prime example. They've always thought of it, it's more semi-rural suburban community. And they don't really feel that they have any MBTA presence, even though they have that little connectivity. There's even been some, you know, I read someplace, some movement, Milton to shut that one down. So
Oh, well.
then they wouldn't have an MBTA.
right, then they would have a problem, yeah.
Trade is central to me.
right,
That's
yeah,
one of the reasons a lot of people move to New York,
Right.
quite frankly.
yes,
Pay the prices they do for the houses.
right,
So it's essential, you know, it's, keep it.
yeah,
And, um, plans are based on the maps that constructed from the junction station to Highfield.
right,
And they, you know, taken half an hour of this station. And they looked at the housing story there and all of it. What zoning changes would be needed in order to enhance housing within that distance, which is what the, educated legislation
Right.
requires.
yes,
And, when they come up with plan A, B, C, 1, 2, 3.
right,
And then basically, plan A is the minimum that you can do.
Yep.
To satisfy the EPA. And then plan 3 is a very ambitious one. Then 2 is something, and I think that one is
oh, interesting.
that, yes.
Well, I know it's one is a
Oh,
definite,
one, yeah.
one is a definite,
We absolutely have to do it.
right, one is what they basically chosen. And then the second article, as they said, I don't know if they're gonna base it on 2 or whether it's gonna be something that it definitely will increase what the number 1 is, the 17 something. But yeah, but I don't know how much or,
I think that's good.
it's still pending. They're still, talking.
So does Avery, because it's empty, will that be considered new? Or is that old?
I'm not
New
sure.
space.
Where that, it seems.
I mean, it's right next to
Or
the
some
front.
whatever, on the inside, but.
Because it's empty now, it will be considered part of the new though.
Right, I mean, the zoning on Avery has already been changed. They have not come, but the people that had made a presentation,
Right.
pulled it off the table. In talking to one of the planning board people, they expected them coming back. He didn't say shortly, but he said, in the future, whatever that means. It indicated kind of like maybe the near future, but maybe not tomorrow, kind of thing. So, and they don't know whether it's gonna come back exactly as it was, but one of the things we were talking about, and I think, Ian, I was talking to you about it, the Wingate Nursing Home. And I said that it was apartments that were going to be rented, and you said that they were selling them to buildings. So, that the actual, they've got another, we're in the back or further down where the other, I'm sorry.
You want the assisted living?
Yeah, and they're going to, that's what they're selling the, independent living for, yeah. Yeah, but the actual nursing home is still 72 apartments, 65 and older. So, but they're not within that half-mile range. Which is just ridiculous. So,
So I think you have made pretty much of that report. I did, there's certainly a lot going on, and that housing is the hot issue, in this town and surrounding towns, but, we have the, we didn't tell, what does home stand for? One was home frail, and they're doing so much.
that's home, yeah.
That's home. They, here, I would say the promoters, they're really taking responsibilities to say that we need the NDA requirements. And, I'll get back to that in a minute. There's also the Needham Housing Coalition, which Oscar and Catherine.
Right, right. And that's the one I usually attend, yeah.
Yes, they're meeting monthly at Wandering. And, this is segues into, the, housing authorities properties. As mentioned, I suppose mentioned last meeting that, something has to be done there, and there is a plan, and, essentially, I'll do all that later also. But the properties, the, Native Housing Authority's properties include Linden Chambers, the High Rock Estates, Seabed's Way, High Rock Estates, what is under a voucher system. Seabed's Way is mostly senior and disabled, but maybe exclusively for them. And Captain Robert Drive is families. So the Needham Housing Authority currently owns or controls 419 units of federal, state, and Section 8 vouchers, plus an additional 8 they call PBV, public building vouchers. They're controlled by a group called SMART, stands for Southern Middlesex Opportunity Council. And part of that is the High Rock Home Rental Unit. The High Rock Home Estates has rental units that are available through the voucher system. Returning to the MBTA projects, and I'm surprised that the it has a recommendation to submit to town meeting, because my understanding is that that hasn't been decided yet. And there were 3 scenarios. One,
The one it came from Heidi Frail, who's the chair of, or, co-chair of HOME, that said they had selected the number, the first one,
the base,
the small,
okay, well,
yeah.
that, I'll tell you something
Yeah.
about that. That one is the base compliance. That's the minimum which, keeps center business as a mixed use district with no standalone multi-family allowed. And it meets the minimum capacity of 1,784 units.
Now, just so everybody is aware, this is not coming up at the spring town meeting, this is the fall town meeting.
Mhm.
And who knows what's gonna change.
And that has to be submitted by.
Right, then it has to move quickly because it has a December 31st
Right.
submission deadline date.
But we don't really have any input or say really into, I believe, the housing authority, because it's not under our jurisdiction. So I think the only reason why I keep bringing up what's going on in the housing situation and the rezoning and everything is because if we know of something that we should be backing or rejecting, similar to what we do with the Avery building, I think that's important that we have all this information, and that's the only reason why I like discussing it on a monthly basis.
Well, the interesting to know, CPA funds are being requested
For new
for
housing.
housing. And so in that sense, the town has some part in that not has any control, but that would be, the CPA articles have to be approved by town
And
meeting.
it's quite a bit, it's quite a large sum, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me.
And, you know, we're advocating for housing, to accommodate more seniors. That's just to know that that is, included. I'm surprised. to hear
But I
that,
guess
because-
it's my understanding that the select board voted unanimously to allow families into the new housing that the authority built when they get, if and when they get built. That it's no longer just going to be,
We're gonna add school with that?
yeah. I don't know.
I mean, come on, all those houses. Families, what they're doing is they're bringing what is they're trying, they're repositioning. Units, both at Cambridge and, like London. And at, if it's Seabeds, not Seabeds, but Captain Robert Cook Drive. So, but the bottom line is they're not creating more units. The repositioning is taking away some one bedrooms and creating family units. I think there's a difference. Yeah, well, you know, I'm using, but the appreciation.
I thought we were gonna build on Main Street.
Yeah,
They're
that's
talking
about
about-
yes. Now, William and Chambers is a different.
Right, okay, yeah.
It's in a different category. And that will increase units significantly.
But that they are also talking about family units in that,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
which.
Is the portion going to be reserved for seniors or?
And where was the High Rock Estates?
Yeah.
It's above the. Linden James, if you go up.
It's above
Linden Chambers.
Oh,
On High Rock Street, and some go around to Murphy.
Oh,
and-
They had at one time, turned those into, not duplexes, what's the word I want, yeah, and,
And I think it's a Carol.
and, some of them, I believe, were actually sold, weren't they?
Well, they.
Yeah, they built some.
Yeah,
The
for
original-
sale.
The original ones were freestanding units. But when they expanded, I don't know what year that was, and they built the so-called estates. Those are, they're on, some on High Rock, some around on Murphy Road, and other road that,
You're right. Is that your?
yes, yes. And it's those original freestanding units, buildings that are really, I mean, they need a lot of help.
Yeah, so does Linden Street.
And that's Linden Street though, but Linden Street, they seem to have
Plan.
a plan. And those will, I forget the number that said, that will be,
It's 2 floors, there's no elevator. Or the 3 floors.
they have, I thought, the director of the housing
Yeah.
authority, third version that has been going around, it doesn't would take 144 one-bedroom units. And just, it's confusing.
It looks confusing. You know, but,
So this is what they intend to create, finalize many more units.
Right.
Changes in unit. And some of those will be those stories.
but again, it's not like we have any input into what they do there.
Right.
So,
That's public, that's a housing.
Right, exactly.
Ian doesn't own that.
right,
The housing
Right.
authority.
so nobody's gonna care what the council on
Schools.
aging has, you know, basically has to say about it.
But
So,
even those people mention the burdens of children's schools, other services that.
true, yeah, so push the seniors. Yeah, so.
Um. Except for the MBTA law, which something would have to happen soon. The other is.
Yeah. And the zoning will change, it doesn't mean that there's gonna be new houses built tomorrow.
Right.
It could be 50 years from now.
Right, and, right. Well, not all of them, well, probably. not. I know, So, okay. Anything else that- yeah. All right, thank you, Ian.
And can we have a copy of that, the thing you were, the chart? Can you share that?
This.
Yes.
I can, but I don't know that it makes.
Much sense.
Oh.
I can share the.
So the only other thing I wanted to bring up, and I have to say, I'm not really sure I understand it. It was there is a citizens petition that is being presented at town meeting having to do with the, floor ratio areas. Right now, attics and, basements are not counted in the overall space of your house. And I believe this petition wants it counted if it's at least 5 feet high. And what's happening is there's a lot more, like all the new houses that are being built, they're actually 3 stories high.
Yeah, right.
You know, the upper level is probably, you know, the master bedroom or something like that, and the lower level is, you know, the playroom for the kids. So, but none of that is counted.
Wow, well, I think they should just count it if it's like done over, like, my attic. I can't picture it, it's my closet.
Well, this, yeah,
You know, like, I
Yeah,
can't,
I know
I'm not going up
Right.
there, there's no floor on it, I'm not going there. My
exactly.
basement, and that's, you know, I have stone wall,
I
eighteen
have,
ninety-eight built.
yeah, I can't get into my attic without getting a ladder, and, I'm just not doing it
No,
anymore, so whatever's up there.
Right.
Unless my daughter wants, you know, $50,000 worth of ballet costumes stored up there, she can go up herself and get them, you know, and I made my husband put all his Playboy magazines. When Adam got to be a certain age. And I found one in his room, I know, yeah.
It's a big money there. You don't know who's on
It's always little, you know, so good luck going up into that attic, I don't know, I think my wedding gown may be up there, but I have no idea. But,
It doesn't.
it does, so, anyway, I was sent.
Something put that away.
Sure.
So on the front too, that's my good came up to put, no problem.
So, yeah, it's an open door meeting, so we can step, right, so I was sent that they're gonna have a, you know, a show and tell kind of thing at town meeting. And I was sent all the slides, But it was 91 pages and I was gonna print that for everybody.
My God.
So I think I printed the basic amendment that they're looking to ask for, and in reality, I've already said what they're looking for is an amendment, but, I'm sorry.
They include it in the script.
Yeah, yeah. So I can make copies of this or I can, and give it to everybody, but again, I'm not about to print.
No.
I couldn't even get through 90 pages. I was totally
I
lost.
Well, if it's finished, then it should be.
Well, it's, yeah, I mean, right now,
And how do you know? Like, it probably says livable or something like that. I mean, there's a house in my,
so right now, we know that basements and attics are not counted, whether they're finished or they're not finished. So,
Are they planning on amending it for those houses built going forward or for across the board?
well, if they make a change, if this change,
That's illegal.
this is
Yeah.
an amendment to
Yeah,
the,
So you're doubling. Your
Yeah.
taxes will go
so
up.
if that would be going forward. And the whole point of it, as I get it, is so that we're not building McMansions anymore. That are getting away with huge spaces that aren't being taxed.
Because this would bring in more revenue. It's doing
Yeah,
tax and
there's a
tax.
house
Right.
on Honeywell, and from the front, it's before. From the top, it's full.
Right.
Wow, because there's lights on in the
Right.
right, probably in the
Right.
office, and there's full finished basement,
Yeah.
which isn't basement.
Right, right. right,
I mean, I think they need to look
more into finished space, not just random space.
well, again,
I have no floor in my attic.
I don't either,
Why should I be paying tax?
probably don't have any insulation either.
I don't, the guy, I gotta give her the energy guy.
Yeah,
Does it say anything about livable space or is it across the?
I just, I was just reading I was just made a copy of what the amendment that they're proposing, what the original. The term floor area ratio means that the floor area divided by the lot area. So it's my understanding that this, if this goes through, you can put smaller houses on lots and count the floor area, the FAR from the attic and the basement, which is finished.
Force them to build smaller houses.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Unless the zoning board changes.
Boards change stuff all the time. It's not more than
Yeah,
US.
so anyway, that's what this citizen petition is, and, it's Joe Matthews who is doing it, Dan Matthews. So that's why I got the information, but anyway, just like to make you aware of this stuff. Yeah, so somebody along the way might understand it. Are there any questions that I can't answer?
Sure are.
Ted, what have you got for us today?
Well, just a couple of things. One, kudos out there to our February 1st joint meeting at the VFW, joint meeting with VFW as well as the Exchange Club. Outstanding event. Too bad it only happens once a year. But yeah, the place was packed for those that went there, saw it. Great event, a lot of camaraderie taking place. And also the students that were there got their awards, got their presentations, and basically the audience got to hear the first prize for the Voice of Democracy and the first prize for the Patriots Pen students. They
Very
read.
impressive.
Yes, oh,
Extremely
wow.
impressive.
When I was going to school, I don't even think we knew the word composition. But when they read, I mean, they wrote, but when they read it, the inflections in the voice, the words, everything, it's almost like as though these students were, 40 years old, in
Yeah,
the,
right. and had doctorate degrees.
in the news media or in reporting or something like that, to get a lot of information across and especially the wording that was used. I mean, it's unbelievable. But so that was a good event. Looking forward to it again next year. And this year we had 3 and 3. We had 6 that that we give the winnings to, but we also had a few more that were that we received from the students, but they were passed on to the district, the VFW district. Needham is District 5, so there's a number of other posts that are in the same district. So they passed along a few of those to the other districts that maybe didn't have enough supply to make it spread out the wealth a little bit. So that was a good event. The other one that was excellent too was on the 3rd of February, our tribute to Celebration of Life for Bob Larson. That as well was an outstanding attendance.
It really was.
For one person to have that many people, through their lifetime that they remember a person and interact with him. I think when I go, there'll be a problem even finding 6 people.
We'll be there. I'll probably go before you. I'm sorry.
So many
If
people
I'm
were there.
around, I'll attend, but I can't make any promises.
So many people were there and I was impressed with the table that they had with all the different things that he did over the years. I mean, I remember when the Needham Times newspaper used to come out. Yeah, I read the editorial page. I always read the cartoons, but the name didn't mean anything to me
Right,
as
yeah.
such. Until a couple of times, I remember he sat with me at when we did the poppy drive in Needham. And he'd be sitting there, and I remember one time he brought his booklet and he was showing us, But then to see all of it that he did over the years, all the books, the cards and the pictures. I mean, that's astounding, really. And the talent with just a wave of a pencil, black on white.
Yeah,
Yeah, very good. So,
yeah.
yeah, another good event. Good thing that doesn't happen that often, that kind. We don't like to see the people.
Well, one of the things I felt was really nice about that, there was a lot of humor.
There was,
Yeah,
yes.
It really
Yeah,
was.
yeah, more power to
Because
his.
he had a great sense of humor.
Yeah, his 2 sons there, I think, did a great job too.
Yeah.
As well as the little video that they put together of his life. Very good.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want to ask, I know we have our meetings here. I know the minutes are outstandingly detailed. Does anybody in the town read any of that?
No.
They don't?
No.
So in other words, if I was to make some kind of a suggestion here, it doesn't go any further than the minutes that are on that paper and that's it. Nobody in the town?
It's
Unless they're online, I would guess that
The
not.
minutes are online?
Yeah, I would guess not too many people read them. You could go into any of the agendas and the minutes,
Right,
on the town website
Right.
and read them.
yeah,
I don't think we're the most popular, committee that,
Yeah.
board that people read.
yeah,
But if there's a suggestion or, something that you feel needs to be done,
or a
then we
question,
can take it further,
yeah,
and get an answer or at least, a why. And that's why I keep talking about the housing, because like with the Avery building, we were not at all happy with what was going on there and we made our thoughts known. And were instrumental, in my opinion, of stopping the building. That was proposed, so if there's something that you wanna push forward.
well, I just I would add a question on the thing, we all were here, I don't know, maybe about a year ago when they did the big presentation of all the things that are gonna change in the building. All the documents, all the pages that were there, all the suggestions, and likewise, one of them was mentioned, I think I even asked about it, well, what about the parking situation? In the lot next door there at the MBTA, I mean, you don't have to tear anything down, you don't have to build anything up, you don't even have to restripe it, that's all there. So
If you
where do they
remember
stand?
when Denise was here at our last meeting, I
Right.
asked her if she knew anything about it. And she said she wasn't, at the time, she was not aware that we were asking for something, but
Oh.
if we wanted her to look into it,
Right,
then she would. And I don't know that we made that request of her at that.
so I'll add that, because I owe her a number of different pages of, and I'm dragging my feet because I got oodles of other things, but the notes are there that I need to send her. I will add that kind of a comment on the same thing because, we get people coming here and like everybody says, the attendance is growing. You come here and during the day, you gotta drive in and out and keep going around hoping that somebody's leaving. So you can get a space and all that, the 2 or 3 rows next door, they're not even occupied at all. And the MBTA is crying for funds. I mean, we're not gonna look to give them millions of dollars, but they can come across with
So
some kind of like,
when we were looking into that, Ted, we were asking for the first row, that alongside the road.
right,
And possibly the second row.
sure.
If the request was made, I believe Tim followed through on it or something, yeah,
Okay.
and, it went nowhere.
Yeah, I can understand how it doesn't go nowhere, because we at the post used to turn around with the MBTA when times were good and a lot of people were driving
Right,
there and going to work and park. We used to rent a lot of space on our property at the VFW.
right,
When everything dropped off, probably about 5, 6 years ago, we were trying to negotiate again because the contract was coming up. They were dragging their feet, they couldn't make a decision, the MBTA. Finally, one of the guys went over to the hospital, the Beth Israel Deacon and said, we'll take every space you got. And there's so many people needed parking that they turned around and the hospital had to do a lottery in order to dish out the number of spaces that we had on our lot available. And we got about, it's probably about 5 or 6 rows there
yeah.
from front to
So
back.
I do know that there was a number mentioned for
Right.
parking space.
Right.
To rent.
Yeah,
I believe it was like, I don't know if it was. The number $7 sticks in my head. I'm not sure why it does.
peanuts.
Per space,
Peanuts.
that they, but the point is, why are we paying them $7 for a parking space when it's not being rented and it's not being used at all anyway?
That should be all the more reason for them to bite,
So-
to look to do it.
Why not charge us less? I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like we weren't willing to pay, for those spaces, but,
I know.
anyway. So
I was gonna
that's
ask,
where we
I'm
are.
gonna ask Tim, if he has an update about it.
Okay, thank you. All right, I keep interrupting you, Tim.
No, it's okay. I got one more, but I won't, seeing as how it's gonna be a suggestion, so I think I'll run that one by Denise Garlic first. With a couple of samples and everything, so I'm gonna look to be putting some things together, get it to a mail. But I do have one quick one. Maybe everybody else got one of these in the mail too. Denise Garlic's report to the community.
Right.
Has anybody ever attended? or
Oh, my
looked at
God,
it?
every year.
Do-
Yeah.
Does she come across with anything that's worth for the town?
It's, she does a great job.
Very
She really does,
Does?
and it's all off the top of her head. I mean, and she has, slides and stuff like that.
Is it
So
like stuff that was passed at the state house and they basically are giving stuff to the town or? Not giving, but I mean, making a law or
it's
something?
basically what's happening through the state house and how it affects us.
Okay, all right, so it
Would you
sounds
not
like.
say?
And what she's doing.
And what,
And
what
she's
she's,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so she's reporting to the town of Needham what she's been able to accomplish for the
Yeah.
town of Needham,
Okay,
yeah.
so it would be good to make her some suggestions, so this way she can look to see what she can accomplish with some potential suggestions
She takes questions at the end of the.
at the end of the session.
Yeah.
What you do is when you come in, you pick up an index card and write what you want to say. And then they give it to her and she responds to it.
I see,
So if it's a question or an idea or something.
Yeah.
She's good about it, too. She goes through all of this.
Yeah,
all right, thank you.
okay.
Who's this guy?
I have no idea why we have that on the table.
Oh, it was just information I was sharing. That's it.
If you don't have a homestead act on your house, you should get it. It's free and that's a great place and a great way to do it. It saves.
Right.
If should you get sued, it saves, like, I think it's 250,000. And they can't take. And then like Ted said, he was doing something and found out that one of his mortgages had not, the discharge of his mortgage had not been reported. I mean, a lot of people get them and say, oh, good, my loan is paid full, same thing, in the safe deposit box or in the photo album or something. but it has to go back to the registry to be recorded,
Oh, wow.
or actually to be cleared from your title.
Right.
So it's,
You know, there are other items besides the homestead, you can.
Yeah, copies of various things.
But copies of your deeds, copies of your,
Well, you can get a copy of the online. You can get a copy of that
I
online.
think my house is still in my husband's name.
Oh, Colleen, you don't know how to get that tax release. Yeah, because there might come a time when that's very important. You may want to start.
Yeah.
That way, when you have time.
The tax bill comes, I pay it.
Oh, yeah.
It's going up to the end.
Right.
40 years after my mother sold us her land in air, we still had her name on the deed.
Yeah.
So just because you did all that doesn't mean they're gonna take it off.
Right, right,
It'll still be there. And that part doesn't matter.
right. Is there anything else? Oh, I'm sorry, Beverly. I just like you had been here.
I can just say a few words.
Okay.
You are all invited to our Mardi Gras celebration on Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And it's going to be in the multipurpose room downstairs. And when you come in the door, there's a poster. So you probably saw it when you came in tonight's meeting. And people are gonna make masks and beads and there's some music. And
Cupcakes.
okay.
Mondays.
Yeah.
The whole,
No, yeah, I was
Yeah. What are they gonna do about that?
And then in March, the Friends are doing a luncheon for the staff. It's a staff appreciation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so,
What's the day of that?
and that's the
8th of March.
It's,
What time is that?
But that's,
it's.
Staff.
Someday I could drop off some cookies.
yes, you could.
Especially some cake cookies.
She makes very good cookies.
Yes.
Well, my favorite is
So
peanut
it's-
butter.
Oh, I do a peanut butter chocolate bar.
Whoa.
I usually do oatmeal cookies.
Yeah, they're really good, right. they're really
They're in
good.
front of me, I just.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Makes wonderful cookies.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, okay, you want to mention a volunteer luncheon as well? When that's-
Yeah,
we don't have a date, okay,
that'll be in April.
okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's coming up. We'll figure that out.
They've been busy, they don't just play bingo all the time.
And then Colleen said, oh my goodness, we had a lengthy
It was the silliest thing that I have ever,
about bingo. I
really,
was like, yeah.
do we buy more tickets, do we just buy $1 tickets, do we buy $2 tickets, do we? I mean,
And some people give their tickets back and, you know, and
Some people donate, some, it just went on and on.
And Colleen and I kept looking at one another, and really, we just could have broke out laughing, but everybody else was pretty serious.
Yeah.
We behaved. Anyway, the Friends meet the first Friday of every month at 10 in the morning.
And it's a great meeting. Anyway, all right, may I have a motion to adjourn? So thank you, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, guys. That's fine, me.